Let's get it. It's another, that's right, gorgeous day here in the QC, here in the Carolinas, I should say, which I am in the QC. And I'm so glad to see this day. Like I said, it's absolutely gorgeous. This looks like one of the first days we may get a real good sweat in. Temperatures are supposed to be up in the 80s. I think last I checked, 82. However, all praises to the Most High for allowing us to see this day. And then on top of that, having such great weather. I do hope everyone is well today. And I did have a great thought that the Most High put on my heart over the weekend. And it is Mission Impossible. Do you accept the mission? And when I first thought about this, I thought back to the Most High telling me that we had just passed the test and that we were going to another level in Him. How you doing? Great. Now when we hear this, a lot of times we would tend to have fear or doubt. And like I said last week, or maybe the week before, when He told me we had passed the test, or we was going to a new level, He reminded me that He had already prepared me on the prior level for the next one. However, just as my brother and I was talking on yesterday about prior level devils, it don't mean that they're not going to come back and try to touch you. Like the text says, once you clean out the house, they can come back and try to bring some friends to try to help and overpower you with them same temptations, with that same lust, with that same anger and bitterness, as we'll see today in our script. And it's coming out of Jonah. And see, the Most High put Jonah on my heart because he's one of the prophets that denied his mission. Matter of fact, and I laugh at Jonah, but I gotta be careful. He didn't only deny the mission, he went hundreds of miles in the other direction. And after you study the text more, you will start seeing a picture being painted from Jonah's thoughts. See, Jonah didn't want to deal with Nineveh because Nineveh was like one of the Hebrews' arch enemies. And Nineveh was built by Nimrod. So that would give you an idea of how evil Nineveh was. One of the historians wrote that Nineveh, when they attacked, they purposely tortured the people and destroyed everything. But my main point is, and that the Most High was going over in my mind about this, is that vengeance is the Most High's, and his plan is what's best for everybody involved. Now, maybe not the enemy, but it's best for them too, because they're going to be put out of their misery and not to be used anymore by Hasatan. But I said I'm going to do this recording today on the walk because I have somebody in my spot, and this park is smaller. They don't have but one picnic area where you can sit down and sit at the table. But we're still in a secret place today, and we're going to keep the momentum going this week. We're going to stay in prayer and listen to the Most High more, and we're not going to care what the enemy is doing. We're not even going to think about it. We may think about it, but we're going to put it out of our mind with what the Most High says about the situation. Let's get these squats started. It's a beautiful day. Oh yeah. And we'll come back and talk about that pride and bitterness as far as we're concerned. Looks as if I done lost a whole live set of my squats with my first set. Me trying to give that old sports cam another shot at it because it started out right. But Most High be the glory. Yeah. Mission impossible. And my text was, with man, things may be impossible. With the Most High, all things are possible. And I know I may be misquoting that, but I'll put it in the recording as always. But yeah, we was talking about pride and bitterness. Even though Nineveh was the Hebrews' enemy, the Most High told Jonah to go and see about them and to tell them about the gospel. Which they could be saved. But Jonah said, none of that. Them jokers killed my great-granddaddy. And my grandma. Thank the Most High, my granddaddy and grandma was able to run, but my great-grands, they were slaughtered. And I'm just being facetious. But this may be what happened. But still, the Most High told him to go to Nineveh and tell the truth so you can shame the devil. But we find ourselves in the same predicament a lot of times, not wanting to forgive folks because they hurt our feelings. And as 1 Peter says, we should humble ourselves so that the Most High can lift us up in due season. Because even when we are done wrong, we still must do right. By and through the Most High. And I said through because most of the time, if not all the time, it's going to take him to change our hearts. Just as he did Jonah. However, a lot of times it's going to take a little prodding and pruning and shaking and yes, even breaking. Just like myself. See, when the Most High allowed that stroke, well, I should say major stroke, it was a Job experience for me. Because just like him, I lost everything. However, the Most High gave me a good woman. Because my wife stuck in there with me. And instead of saying, curse the Most High, she was repeating back to me what the Most High told me to tell her to do. No matter what's going on, Robert, we got to trust him. He says keep his eye on him, keep our eyes on him. Well, let me sit down a minute. I got to be real for a second. I owe Israel an apology for a recording I put out about a particular ministry that, yes, they did me wrong. And yes, as 1 Peter says, they was trying to lord over me and my wife, as well as their congregation they have there now. Now, I didn't call their name in the recording, but I put out enough information on it so that they and the folks watching the recording that has anything to do with them or myself would know who it is. And I must say I was wrong, and I apologize to Israel for putting it out there like that, even though they needed calling out. But what the Most High told me, that wasn't my place. And even though I was upset, angry, and did have bitterness still in my heart from it, I was supposed to let him have vengeance. Which now I will. I deleted the video. And like I said, I'm making a public apology to the world that I was wrong. Because like the old saying goes, two wrongs don't make it right. Somebody got to give it to the Most High to deal with. And see, one thing about it is, when the Most High's children are being hurt, He gonna come see about them. Trust you me. Just like He wanted Jonah to go see about Nineveh. But I'm not gonna be like Jonah. I'm accepting my mission. And whatever it takes. Even if it takes me telling the world that I was wrong for something I've done, I'm gonna do it. Because I'm not gonna be the one found with pride. I'm not gonna be the one found with bitterness. I'm not gonna be the one faking the funk. And he told me to keep it short and sweet today, so let me get busy. And what I did, I went to the Most High. Said, okay, Father, I'll delete the video like you said. I don't want to tell you the truth, but I'll delete it. Now what you want me to do? Go sit at the back of the church? Now I'm laughing, but I'm being for real. I said, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. You want me to go sit at the back of the church? Put myself in a timeout? He said, no. That's defeating the purpose. The purpose of saying I was wrong, repenting really, and saying I was wrong, is so we can turn around and do the right thing. Well, to continue to do the right thing. See, we're going to keep the momentum going. like he told me Monday over the weekend. He said that we're gonna do. We're not gonna stop, kill our witness, and get all in a funk about being embarrassed to say I was wrong. No. When I think about them times I was in that hospital begging the Most High to stop the pain, and all he would tell me is, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. So now, I'm not going to be running from a little uncomfortableness, if that's the word, as long as the Most High is still with me. See, that's where we get it twisted. We think that the Most High is not going to send that whale to pick up Jonah and make him go do what he told him to do in the first place. See, he's going to scare the pure living hell out you to get you to carry out his mission. So the whole point is, do you accept the mission? And I guess I should say yet. Oh boy. You see, the Most High has a way about him. If you run from the Most High so long, he'll cut your toes off and give you drop foot, so you can't run from him. Then he'll lay you on your back for 11 months and basically slam the mission in your head along with the pain till you can't see or think about nothing else. And see, when someone gets in the way of that mission, you're ready to snap their heads off. Well, like I had said, tell an individual to go to the highest building and jump off. But that was wrong, like I said. But once we figure out how the Most High operates and start flowing with him, then it's a wrap for the enemy. Especially in prior level devils that you have to put underfoot again. Even when they bring their imp friends. However, the Most High is worthy. Always have been, always will be. Okay, let's knock out these last set of spots. looking good. However, we see the process. See, that's how it is with the Most High in our lives. First, that old had to be stripped away, or had to be stripped away. Then they go all the way down to the foundation. And reset that. Or basically plow up the old. So that new can be applied on top. Oh boy. And them boys putting in some hard labor. What they keep doing is getting down on the ground and stretching that turf out. See them pulling it right now. Had to pull and prod it into the place it's supposed to be. And like I said, that's no easy work. And see, what I was saying the day before is we have to look back and see what we already have covered instead of looking back over here at the new mounds that we have yet to lay down. Because the thing is about them, it didn't just start with coming out and just laying a new surface on it, or laying new turf. That old turf had to be pulled up, and they had to bulldoze the old foundation from out under it. And I'm sure for, what's the word, so the water would run off the field like it should. The exact word ain't coming to my mind at this time. But it's like rocks under the bottom, so the water can gather and filtrate on out and off the field. A filtration system, I guess you would call it. But when we look at how much of a physical work those fellas are putting in just to lay a new turf, it's easier for us to see the work of the Most High in our individual lives. And as I was saying yesterday, corporately. But I heard a teacher saying one time, he said, if Israel can get his eye off Esau long enough to put the mirror on himself, then maybe, just maybe, we can get some work done on Israel. not to say that we throw away all history. No. Because if you throw away the history books, you're doomed to repeat history. Not taking any apple breaks today. I wanted to eat my apple with my 2 apples before I started my ride. And 2, well, I brought that up because I do need to go back to the truck. Because I left my chapstick. I don't want to be riding around like I just ate a donut, a powder covered donut. Nor do I need my lips burning. And family, the whole point about today's thought is to tell the truth to shame the devil. Because just like Jonah, we don't want to be found with pride, anger, and bitterness in our hearts, because that puts the brakes on. As far as the Most High is saying in my heart. But as I always like to say, in all my relationships, especially with the Most High, I like to keep it all on the table. Keep it all in front of us both. And if there's some goings on, we need to speak on it, break bread on it. But we're going to leave it at that, because we're not going to go backwards when the Most High done pushed us back in the right direction. But do you accept the mission? And I said I was going to pass this thought along to the best of my ability without even mentioning them folks. Keep it all on the Most High. But I got to get this one last point across. I think the fella name is Ian, the fella from the Mission Impossible series. But the idea is, every time he was given a mission by headquarters, now remember that, they would tell him to get his squad together, or they would assign his squad to him. Either way, it don't really matter. The point I'm getting across is, every time they spoke on one of them individuals, you saw them go to a scene where those folks was already walking out what they was going to be doing on that mission. They was already doing it. So I just wanted to leave that thought with us today. That, to be honest, the Most High ain't calling you to do nothing special. Nothing out of the ordinary, that is. Because you're really already walking it out. Like I was saying in yesterday's recording, if you're in Him and He's in you, then you're walking out His will. And it may not look all glamorous or great or heroic, but if you're doing what He asks you to do, you're doing all He needs from you at the time. And remember this, last word. The greatest in the kingdom is the servant. Stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom.